What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I am alive. Hey. Just FYI, I wasn't last night, though. I wasn't. I was not in a good place last night. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was like all for doing a live stream. I was like, okay, focus on being ready to do a live stream. And then literally I fell asleep on the sofa. More about that in a little bit, by the way. But I fell asleep on the sofa. My missus woke me up at about 9 minutes to the point of going live. Damien, my man, thank you so much. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. You would have all got a really, really bad live stream where I've been like, all right, guys, I mean, you can hear in my voice. Let's take a look at charts of Bitcoin. Yeah, it's decent. That is literally how last night would have gone. So it wasn't worth it. But we're here for it tonight, all right? We're here for it tonight. So I hope you're all doing well. Hope you didn't miss me too much. FYI, if you're brand new to the channel, I was aware I had some work stuff to do, 9 to 5 work stuff, that as usual got totally out of hand, and I think I went to bed. Weirdly, though, for me, I actually went to bed early. The trouble was, it wasn't tea that I drunk. It was something else. And a lot of it. So, yeah, it ended up being bad news. And then I had to stay awake for like an 8-hour conference, which literally blew my mind. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fall asleep in front of everybody. And then, yeah, managed to not fall asleep, which is good. Got home, but I was totally wiped out. So I apologize. I know I called it the last minute, but genuinely, I think I was doing you all a favor by not doing a live stream. So anyway, we're back tonight, though. We're going to get into it. There's some interesting stuff happening within the market. Now, there is obviously some relief rallies. Today's been a great day. Surprise, surprise. CPI data was good. We might have said that here on the channel. And the altcoin market has had sort of 2 days of rallying. Do you know what hasn't been rallying? The AI and stocks. All right, so we're going to kind of get into that. We're going to understand a little bit about what's going on. What can we expect through this weekend? What does next week look like? Why is there so many bullish announcements coming out for cryptocurrency right now? But actually the price seems relatively stagnant. Still giving us that opportunity to dive in. For example, Solana, it's still under $85. What? All of that. All right. Do me a quick favor, 2 things. Smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I really would appreciate it. As always, do share the stream, all right? It does help out and it does get us up in the old algorithm as well. So what will I do now? What's that for? I haven't traded before. Well, the best piece of advice I would give you is don't trade until you really understand what you're doing. Join our totally free Discord. Come to these live streams. We're going to walk through some charts right now. We're going to give a prediction. I did try and trade this market a little bit while I was away for work, but very limited success, I would argue. Very, very limited success. All right. So let's get into it. TikTok, you guys come over here and let me bring this screen up. So there you go. You guys can... hold on a minute. Let me just sort of sort my life out here. There you go. All right. You guys can see that? Yeah, I think so. Okay, good. So let's get into it then. So here's the daily chart for Bitcoin. Pretty interesting. We dropped below this support level, heading down to this low range of around 65,000 over the course of the last couple of days. In fact, we actually got a pretty big sell-off over the last 2 days while I was away, but we've started to come back to the upside now. Now, is today a fake out? What's interesting is it is hitting this line here. This I think it's the PLC line. Did we put that back on? Hold on a minute. Let me just check. That's not what I wanted to see. This one. Do we put the PLC line back on? We did not put the PLC line back on. This must mean this is our support line then. All right, cool. So, yeah, still holding up around this range here. Still looking for, by the way, I'm still genuinely in the place where I think we retest down here. People think I'm crazy, but I still think we do come down to there. But here are the daily candles, by the way, looking pretty interesting. We'll take a look at something else I want to show you guys in a minute. But you know, that kind of plays out a little bit more of an interesting setup here on BTC. 3.74% on the day, 68,722. Now, interestingly, if we close above this line here at 68,527, then, you know, we could argue we could see a retest of the upper range here at 70,000. Maybe if you're thinking, man, I want to take a little bit of a long trade on, you know, lower margin, lower leverage, all that kind of stuff, then, you know, there's a couple of opportunities in there. Casey, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. You know, there's definitely a couple of opportunities that could absolutely be presenting itself. Why do you feel so low down here? TikTok, what's going on? What's going on here? Is that better? There we go. I think that's a bit better. All right, I think that's a bit better. So, yeah, so definitely could be some opportunities that present themselves, but we need to work our way down in some of the lower time frames. What is interesting is that you are actually getting an altcoin move as opposed to a Bitcoin move. And there's a couple of reasons for that, which obviously we'll discuss in tonight's live, as I literally just have the worst bit of like, what's going on here? God, I need to charge this phone, and it's like, Jay Burns here. Holy crap, bro. What's going on, mate? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to you, as always. Appreciate you being here. Sorry, I'm just having an absolute disaster here. Why is this not working? Come on, bro. There we go. That'll kind of do. That'll kind of do. We'll survive. All right. We'll survive. So anyway, we're looking for this kind of break above here. This line in the middle here, 68,000, would be good news. Equally, if we take a look of, let's say, this move to the downside, you can see right now that we retested the 0.5 Fibonacci just under 70k, did, however, get rejected at this line. Looks like we may come back down. What's important, though, is to understand this is your first line of control there, around 68,824, a little bit lower. Potentially with that move back to the upside as well. So BTC is actually looking all right. Stochastic RSI is overbought. Do be mindful. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. But if we then looked at, potential from the move back to the upside, what do we start to look like? Well, that's when it starts to play out a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? So if you did it the opposite way, so what we're saying here is that the market is pushing back up. You can see if you take out this upper control line here in the Fibonacci, that actually coming back to the upside, you can see where these key bounce levels are. And actually, if we take this as a macro statement here on the 12-hour, then the next line we're looking for, really 71,741, would give us a pretty interesting break to the upside and probably confirm that we do actually have a uptrend in the market. I still don't think we're quite there yet. That's just my personal opinion. But look, I think it's worth certainly keeping your view on what is going on, because it may play out a little bit more favorably on this particular asset. If we go in a little bit nearer, let's go to the 1 hour chart. What's interesting here in the 1 hour is you can kind of get a feel for how this is playing out. And obviously this was the wick down. So this was the big AI sell-off, which I am going to touch on a little bit later on. But what we do know is you can start to say, well, okay, we got a secondary bottom here on this market. So we can start to really plot our graph and plot our movements here on the chart. So for example, if we lose this here, let's say we lose this line at 68.5, BTC breaks back below, then you could be looking at a potential retest here of the 67.384 line. Now, the good news here, like a little bit of a bullish divergence. So you can see the 20 crossing the 50. Looks like it may cross the 100 as well. So right now, if we argue here on a short-term basis, BTC is in an uptrend, which is kind of nice. It's in a small micro uptrend, but at the same time, this is an uptrend. It's an uptrend here since, early Thursday morning. Yeah, we've had a little bit of sell-offs, but actually the bottoming here that came in, you can see this correlates with the stochastic RSI being oversold. Again, important to reference this. And actually what you can see here, and I think this is kind of why the stochastic RSI is kind of nice, you can see it combined in terms of where we have movement. So for example, you can see the stochastic RSI is selling off. Nothing really compared to what we've seen, but this could then signal a bounce off here. So this could be an interesting setup here for the long trade at around 68.5. May give us a bounce back to the upside, pushing back above this range. If we get above this, you could be arguing for a 71k move here on BTC. So yeah, looks pretty nice in fairness right now. Lots of momentum coming with us. You can see here on the hourly chart, we do need to sort of get that breakout, which you probably can get from here, look. So right now, you look at BTC on this particular move, this is a breakout here. And then within this breakout, this is where it kind of gets fun, is you can actually see this descending wedge here. So, if you think about it here, look, and there's a lot drawn on the screen right now, but you could easily come in from here somewhere and start to play that out a little bit more favorably. So again, you are getting this kind of play from the wedge. There's the bottom that comes in, you extend that across. You get this kind of big wedge pattern that's coming in. So right now we broke out here early this afternoon, 12 o'clock my time, aligned to pretty much when you get the 20 and the 50 cross. So, we break out, we get the bullish crossover here. We're about to get another one here, which could signal then BTC will get another little push up here if this cross comes in. People would see this as a bullish move. So again, worth noting here, the stochastic RSI is telling us, though, to expect a little bit of pull down, and the volume feels a little bit on the weak side. So if we can continue with an altcoin move, then yeah, BTC might take a little bit of a rally, might take a little bit of a run through the course of the next couple of days. Total market cap 2.33 trillion, which still feels a little bit crazy to sort of refer to, but 2.33 trillion here on the daily, still very much a consolidation phase, not doing a lot. Total 2 at 672 billion as well, is actually below the line that we were talking about. So you want to see that. Now, a couple of other things to note here that's worthwhile talking about. BTC dominance continues to rally. now up around 59.01. Remember, anything above 60 would be deemed as not good. So again, macro trend is down though. So we are seeing BTC dominance come down. Ethereum dominance is actually moving up. So this is good news. And then when you look at stablecoin dominance, just FYI, these both are coming down. However, important to note here, it's still within a range, all right? So as much as we want to be like, oh my God, here it comes, get ready, baby, we're going. You can make live, what is that? From buying shares on Bitcoin. Down first, maybe, Ollie. Bulls are trapped. It was a trap. Maybe. I mean, maybe, like I said at the start of the stream, I still believe we're going to go and retest at least 60,000. So, again, my theory, and by the way, I actually think the reason we get there isn't particularly weakness in the Bitcoin and crypto market. I think it's a absolute kaboomer in the stock market. Now, the only thing that I would say, interesting enough, and we'll look at those in a minute, was yesterday you did have a sell-off in the stock market, didn't translate into the sell-off into the crypto market, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, more on that in just a second. Obviously, the other thing we're looking for, which we still haven't got, FYI, is where we get this capitulation here on the BTC versus gold ratio. We're still looking for that retest here at around 13.97 ounces per Bitcoin, which I think could be pretty interesting as that one plays through as well. All right, so that's kind of where we get to. Quick look at some altcoins. Again, you can see here on the daily. Let's do the daily because it's just a little bit better here. Ethereum still very much bearish to a degree. Now, again, you are finding a little bit of, a floor, if you will. Probably a key level right now, is this going to turn back into support? Currently resistance here on this key line. So if we break this, we might get a little bit of a further move up. Maybe, right? Maybe. No, gold, James. It's the gold. So it's the Bitcoin to gold ratio that we're looking at. So again, you could see sort of potentially where this is going to get to if we get a little bit more. I'm not really bothered about ETH until we get back above these sort of ranges. Certainly until we break back above the 20-day EMA. I just think it doesn't make any sense at all. What's going on, Rob? To get that. Now, Solana having a nice little breakout. Still though, don't care until it's back above this. So, as many people are saying in TikTok Live, look, maybe this traps the bulls. Maybe it's, fake out. Once they correct, it's probably a crypto bottom. Maybe I noticed that well too, but stocks look like they're headed for a correction. Yeah, I think so as well. I'm green on long, so not trapped. Nice, baby. I like it. Whoa, GB has just won a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. Let's get it. What was it in? Who isn't ready for the generational bottom? Let's get it, Tim. We're all dialed in. I think what's good to note, though, is lots of indicators are showing the bottom of the market, and the price is still up around $70,000, which is good. Right, my man had the head on the floor for a sec. Yeah, I know, I can imagine. Dear me. But yeah, Sol looking pretty good. XRP, still within this range. Bounced. I mean, look at this. Bounced perfectly off this range here that we actually talked about the other day. So pretty interesting on XRP as that breaks through. Nothing else with the exception of Monad, which now is really starting to build some momentum, which is kind of nice, for all those that have been holding with Monad for the longest time. Actually, you're starting to see a little bit of fruits of your labor paying off very, very marginally. Still got a long way to go. Break above something like 24.20 could be interesting. Skeleton, nice. So yeah, good news there on that. Other altcoins, pretty flat. World of Bit Financial, not having a great time. Obviously, the whole Truth Social ETF stuff, not great. Dupe coming back, albeit at 15 cents, is a joke. How much that is. Zcash, 277. Nice little move here. Canton, though, seems like that suffered, broke down below the 20-day EMA. Look out for a retest here at around 1487 on the 50-day EMA. That could come down here, especially if we got, some selling off that we've seen. XMR, would I be going into there? Probably not. Memes up a little bit. Pengu and Brett having the lion's share. Pump again. Can't sleep on Pump. Look at this. Broke out of this channel. Super interesting here on Pump. You got to be careful. The breakout is in. Now, we did break out back there on Tuesday. We didn't manage to keep this momentum. We actually came all the way back in. But this break back above the 20-day EMA as this starts to cross, Pump can end up being pretty funny. So, we'll see. Probably going to sell my Canton next week. Well, let us know. Let us know. I'll probably Pump then, Craig. So I might go long on Canton when you sell it. Only kidding. Only kidding. Right. Before we get into the commodities market, which is pretty flat in fairness, silver at 76 bucks, albeit had a huge correction. And I don't want to be the one to say this, right? I am merely saying what I see, but I think silver's cooked, all right? And I know people will be like, silver's definitely not cooked. I'm telling you, it's bullish and it's going to the moon. Yeah, well, I'm telling you, it doesn't look like it's going to the friggin' moon right now. Struggle to get above the 382, struggling to get above the 236 Fibonacci. In my opinion, this mother trucker's coming back down to retest around 70 bucks. If it holds, maybe you get a green light. If it doesn't, then yeah, you could be in for a little bit of pain. I think bottom end, 72 bucks, break below that, you are out of there. In my opinion, anyway. I think silver could be cooked. And actually, right now, that's 78. If it doesn't break above that, then I don't hold a lot of optimism for, like, you know, when people are calling, like, oh, silver to, like, oops, TikTok, I'm sorry, TikTok, just smashed my phone to pieces. I don't hold a lot of hope in terms of silver getting back above maybe 3 figures at the moment. I mean, if we get some sort of crazy ass super cycle and everything goes mental, then maybe. But, you know, silver definitely looks a little bit on the, a little bit kind of nervous right now. And I think gold is very similar, albeit gold is seemingly having a slightly better trend. And again, some of the key metrics here, some of the key metrics, my men, they are holding above the 20-day EMA. All right. So actually, from a gold perspective, you've probably got a slightly better view, particularly when it comes to gold. Now, what I want to talk about a little bit more specifically here on some charts, just to give you a vibe, is the stock market, and in particular, some of these, tech stock stocks, which I think are pretty interesting. Now, obviously, we've been sort of saying, look, the AI bubble's a little bit nerve-wracking. You could see some pain coming in. You know, these overhyped valuations that have been sort of, driving a market right now. It feels like, little few bits are starting to come in. For example, Meta seeing a little bit of a sell-off here, down about 1.5%. You've also got Broadcom, another big AI, starting to come down as well, which is kind of interesting. Now, people will say, well, 2-bit, Oracle's up about 2.5%. Yeah, it wasn't yesterday, was it? Absolutely tanked its rear end off yesterday, big time, and is seemingly dumping pretty much since September last year. So Oracle, by the way, 341 is at 160 right now. MSTR as well, by the way, just another one that may be worth noting, by the way, could actually drop below 100 bucks, which is insane, but worth noting. Just FYI, Coinbase going the complete other way. Do you know why? They bought some more Bitcoin. $38 million worth. Get it? But yeah, so interesting to do that. Look at Apple. Apple took an absolute toilet dump today. Down about 2.5%, 255 on Ample. Broke the 50 as well here. So if we go a little bit nearer on the 12-hour, look at this. I mean, Apple could be coming down to retest the 200 EMA, which is like, wow. Last time we did, though, it did get a nice bounce, so watch out. But this looks like it is. You've also got this bearish move coming in right now on the EMAs, which definitely could push Apple down. RSI may come to its savior, but it doesn't look like it. Doesn't feel like it. Amazon continues to bleed out as well. Nvidia, the heroes are down 2.2%. Just understand how big this move is, though, for Nvidia, down once again. And Google, 1.08. So the question then is, oh, well, why is everything selling off 2-bit? What the hell's going on? I thought stocks were the safe place. I thought everyone was going in. Well, mother trucker, sand, it's up 7.5%. What the hell? Bro, get into sand. Get out of Google, buy sand. Not financial advice, obviously. So we need to then understand, like, what the heck is going on? Like, what is driving this narrative? Why are suddenly tech stocks all looking like a complete pile of doo-doo? And actually, therefore, we've got some concerns as to how this plays out. What's going on, TikTok? Welcome back. There I am. Look, there's my face. There's my face. I know you guys like to look at the screen, but hey, you just get to look at my face right now. Coinbase went down yesterday. Probably. I mean, the overall, yeah, it did go down pretty heavy yesterday. Look, looks like pre-markets came back in. They bought $38 million worth of BTC as well, which is kind of interesting. So let's get into a little bit more here on the markets. Let's understand what's going on, and let's understand whether this AI narrative is going to cause us some problems. All right, man, that chat looks pretty funky, doesn't it? Wow. So we need to understand that. So again, where we've got to get to, I think, is understand where some of the most recent earnings that have come in, because this is going to tell us exactly what the vibes are, and then why you're seeing such a rather large sell-off. Because remember, the whole idea about this AI stuff is that they are dumping so much money into CapEx spending. We've looked at that. So CapEx spending, and again, I'm not trying to teach anyone to suck eggs, and I'm not here to be patronizing whatsoever, by the way, but CapEx spending is essentially what companies put aside for infrastructure. So that would be energy, that would be hardware, all that kind of stuff, right? And if you remember from about a month ago, we were looking at Nvidia, we looked at a couple of other top companies around their CapEx spend. CapEx was exploding. Nvidia were dumping loads of money into Chat GPT and all that kind of stuff, right? But when you start to look at what that then looks like and how the capex spending isn't then converting back to real money, it starts to get pretty wild. So let's run through a couple of these big companies and it'll sort of quantify what we're talking about. So Alphabet, aka Google, their new earnings released February 2026. Their quarterly revenue was $113.8 billion, right? $118 billion. Up 17% year on year. Tick in the box. Brilliant result, yeah? Their EPS, or their estimated price per share, 2.82. That's up 31%. So if you're a shareholder in Google, you're like, yeah, baby, this is going to be great. Annual revenue now, $402 billion, right? Holy shit, Google. That's the first time it's been over 400 billion. Cloud growth plus 48%. Everyone's like loving the cloud. But this is where it gets spicy. 2026 AI capex guidance is 175 to 185 billion, which is double 2025 spend. So basically what they're betting on is massive AI growth. Like, it's going to the moon, right? Simple as that. It's going to be this whole narrative explosion. Everything's going to be using AI, right? Doesn't stop at Google. It goes into Microsoft. Again, you can run through some of the specifics. Their revenue was up 17%. EPS was 4.14, beating expectations, ticking the box. The cloud revenue was massive, but their capex was then up $375 billion, up 66%. Like, that's such a huge amount of money based on massive revenue expectations from last time, right? Enterprise AI demand is exploding, but profit margins pressured by infrastructure costs, right? Stick with me, right? Because we're going to do all the ones we just talked about. Nvidia, exactly the same, right? Looking absolutely insane. Data revenue, 51 billion, up 66%, right? So again, their quarterly revenue, 57 billion. It was a pretty good report, right? We don't have their capex spending, but yeah, pretty big again. Broader AI sector earnings, pretty good, but massive expenditure, right? Costs are exploding, right? And investors, therefore, are becoming nervous on returns versus spending, right? They have got, if you've got a revenue growth of 16% on a year-on-year performance and you are dumping 66% increase in your capex spend, the first thing any company will ever do when it has to save costs is cut capex spending, right? It's the easiest thing. Then labor model, then efficiencies, right? It's pretty straightforward. So where you've got these enormous amounts of spending, like how much more money can really come into Nvidia? How much more money can come into Microsoft? Think about it with Nvidia as a great example. Oh, we've talked about this before on the channel, by the way, but you can sell your chips to China, right? Well, they still haven't got legislation that allows them to sell them. China are like, we're probably not that bothered. Like, we think we've got our own chips. Bad news, right? Strong growth, beats of earnings, but capex spending is out of control. And you can see that wherever you look at it, right? AI fears are selling off in shipping, freight stocks. Why? Because AI is the target. It's bad news. Software stocks plummeted over artificial intelligence fears in the last recent weeks. Investors can add logistics and freights to the list of stocks getting sold on the worries about AI. Remember, people are saying you AI is going to be the best thing in the world. We're going to transform everything. Turns out they're not. Now, I mean, interestingly, Elon Musk basically said that at some point heart surgeons will be them Tesla robots, but it's about 4 years away. But yeah, Robert Dove, what's going on? I just wasn't in a good place yesterday at all to do a live stream, but I'm back. But look at this. The great example here is Algorithm Holdings, right? A big transport infrastructure company, right? The company's shares surged as much by 79% on the news before closing at 29% until the third quarter of 2025, operating a karaoke machine business, and it sold to Stingray Group before pivoting to an AI-driven freight solution. At the close, Algorithm's market cap remained below 10 million. Everyone is freaked out about AI and the whole narrative of like, oh, it's just this weird inner circle of AI. You can see just how many of them are absolutely collapsing on loads of this news. And the fact is that the glaring theme underneath the surface is not just tech, but for every corner of the market right now is aggressive short first, ask questions later. For any area of the market, there's an AI headline. Again, it's like, oh, AI is going to the moon. And they go, oh, here's like all my money. Like, here it is. Like, they value, I think the most recent valuation, just FYI, on, what's the most recent valuation IPO for OpenAI is like in 15 billion or something insane like that. I can't remember what it is. Just Monday, I think. Our China market's closed for the Chinese New Year for a week. I think so, yeah. Oh, here we go. I mean, right. Okay, everybody. Here we go. This is how you know the AI bubble is insane, right? In fact, let me just do this. What's the latest revenue generation for OpenAI? It's important, these two things, right? It is, Fat Sonic, going to be wild. It's going to be wild. So bear with me, right? The most recent AI valuation. So what people believe that if this goes to an IPO, let's just bring this up. If it goes to an IPO, what will they put the valuation at? The latest valuation numbers are $830 billion, and that's on a $100 billion funding round in early 2026 about building global infrastructure, right? Separate reports say OpenAI has pursued a $50 billion in new capital at roughly an $800 billion valuation, right? So they value OpenAI at a what is going on here? Why is this not doing it? At a non-IPO bit of $800 billion. Like, that's absolutely crazy, right? It's crazy. And their annualized revenue surpassed 20 billion, which is up from 6 billion, but their growth is massive. Here's the big question though. What does the revenue of 20 billion convert into profit? Does anyone want to hazard a guess? It's dead easy, by the way. What profit on $20 billion revenue does OpenAI make? Anyone know? It could be a health correction, not a crash. Could be de-risking. Yeah, maybe. By the way, I don't necessarily think we're going to see another massive spike down to 60. I just think we grind our way down to 60. That's my view. That's my view. Joseph.com crash version. Yeah, but like 10 times worse, I think. And I just think the AI thing will be clinged onto before you kind of get into a world and you're like, holy shit, we're like back at 60K and the AI bubble's gone boom, and Sam Bankman, not Sam Bankman-Fried, that's the other one, Sam Altman is like freaking out because he can't raise any more money to fund AI. It's going to be wild, by the way. It's going to be wild. £20, Kevin. Yeah, I mean, the answer is nothing because it doesn't make any money, which is insane when you think about it. The only way it makes money is by raising money, which is almost insane, really. It's almost insane. It's just crazy. So it hasn't really made any money. It just takes more and more money, which is kind of insane when you think about it. It's kind of insane when you think about it. But again, they're in a world of, well, we just put a lot of money into the business. It's all about profits. Like, yeah, it's kind of wild. So this is where you start to get this kind of narrative that I think the AI market's going to go kaboomer. And then I think that's what's going to drag the rest of the market down to us. Shub says, hello, sir. Sorry to interrupt you, but is it just to know, do you need a thumbnail design or a video? No, thank you, mate. I'm fine. I've got ChatGPT. But thank you anyway. Very kind of you to come into the live stream and offer me those services. It's great. Maybe, I mean, did you look at my thumbnail and you were like, bro, this guy's thumbnail's whack. It's awful. Imagine that YouTuber is proud of his thumbnails. Yeah. So again, let me just give you a view. Actually, for OpenAI right now, $20 billion in revenue converts into a significant loss, not a profit. That's wild. Projected loss for OpenAI for 2026 is $14 billion. All right? Let that mother trucker sink in. For every $1 in revenue OpenAI generates, they are effectively spending roughly $1.70 to $2 on compute research and talent. What? Bro, and everything is hedged on the fact that OpenAI is going to be great. Well, it's not, all right? And it's going to drag the entire market down. It's going to completely knacker Oracle. It's going to break the crypto market. It's going to break the stock market. It's wild, all right? It's wild, all right? It's got to be careful. But this is why Trump is trying to bring down fuel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he needs to. Like, he needs to bring it down. He needs to. If he's got any chance to survive in the midterms, he needs to bring it down. What's going on, Helicopter Painter? Helicopter. What's going on, Stu? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in to Jurassic Park. Tubican himself, a Google Clooney chin with an AM thumbnail. Yeah, I know. I did realize that. I think it was just a bad angle on a thumbnail, but hey, let's not hold him against it, all right? Let's just be cool about these things, all right? Don't need to get personal. You massive choppers. All right, good. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're brand new. Also, TikTok, don't forget the follow button. We do appreciate you dropping that little follow. It's great. It's great. The AI guys better rotate into crypto soon. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a bigger debate here, isn't there? But maybe we sort of start to see that. But yeah, worth noting. All right, let's get into a little bit then in the crypto market, get a bit of a view. 150 million in BTC sell orders have been placed between 70 and 75K. Sellers are ready to stop this move. Ted Pillows here giving us a view. You can obviously see this on order books as well. We might take a look at it, but yeah. Lots of BTC there. Deutsche Bank, no, Danske Bank, largest bank in Denmark, officially launches Bitcoin and Ethereum trading for its customers. Hey, it's great news. It's good on Fairground. Good to see you. So yeah, Danske Bank is now offering fully licensed crypto trading for its customers. All right, bullish. Okay, Bitcoin and liquidity, worth noting here. Considering Polymarkets are pretty accurate lately, predicting that predicting things you agree with on Polymarket, 5%. Bitcoin got to 50K. Yeah, I mean, I think it might wick to 50K. I don't necessarily think it sort of stays down there. Just my opinion. I mean, who really knows, if we're dead honest. But yeah, anyway, Bitcoin fell to 60K last week, which is the support zone that I suggested a few months ago. While I wrote another 4-year cycle bull market had likely ended. The decline to only 60K would be relatively shallow for a Bitcoin winter. Where this commodity currency matures, its ups and downs should become less dramatic. It's anyone's guess whether 60K is the low, but my guess is that is it. You can see, and actually we'll probably see it better here on a broader scale when I just zoom out. Obviously, we've been tracking this, which you guys know is currently the liquidity, which I think is important. Again, we were looking at this the other day, if you remember. So currently tracking the Fed Reserve, the TGA is always good, and repo, giving us a view from the US market. So again, you can see here that the actual liquidity measure is relatively flat. You can see there, bear of 0.7. So again, we are, based on a liquidity perspective, assuming we are going to get a further push down here in the market. So again, whether we get that or not is an interesting statement. But yeah, kind of view, it's good. You know, you can kind of play through a couple of these key things, specifically where you get the road to maturity, defined as only 60K, relatively shallow move, in line with kind of the broader markets. Again, if you get into kind of the Elliott wave theory, which I'm not very good at, to be honest, and I don't really understand it too much, but that just kind of gives you a view. Like I said, I believe we probably head down to 60K again. How long we stay down there, I'm not sure. Here was kind of another thing that I thought was worthwhile noting, by the way. Again, backs up what I said. But the Anthropic runway revenue growth. And this is the problem, I think, a little bit with OpenAI, is that loads of other companies are starting to build profit. Expectation on Anthropic is about 14 billion. That's a 10x growth year on year. So some AI is actually performing pretty well. The problem is all the ones that people are backing is bad news. Now, you'll have seen this. President Trump's Truth Social files for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF with the SEC. I'm sure this will get expedited through pretty quickly. But interesting that they are going in big. And then one of the other big news is this. Director Patrick Witt is saying that they are working hard on passing the Bitcoin and crypto market structure legislation. And this is a direct quote from himself saying he didn't. He said, there are trillions of dollars in institutional capital on the sidelines waiting to get into the space. So maybe the fact that they are trying to push forward all this kind of crypto stuff, which is kind of interesting, isn't it? CFTC appointing Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, and Polymarket CEOs to its new Innovation Advisory Committee. Michael Salig here getting down and dirty on the cryptocurrency crew, which is kind of good. But look at some of these people, by the way. Brian Armstrong's in there. Andre Bolkvix is down there. Shane Copeland, get in there, Shane. Make it happen right now, bro. So some pretty big names in here, by the way, which is kind of good. Sergey Nazarov of Chainlink, he's in there as well. Chris Marzelect, CEO of Crypto.com. Like, all these are like pretty big people. Tyler Winklevoss is in there as well. Look, Don Wilson, Peter Smith, David Schwimmergen, he's in there. Vivek Raman, CEO of Etherealize. This is all to kind of push on the crypto US strategic move. So, I mean, if you're ever in a world where you thought, man, Trump's given up on crypto, you were naive, bro. He dumped Bitcoin to 60K and then launches all this. Let's just get one more wick down there. Everyone will be like, it's so good, 60K too, but you missed out. But maybe I did. I feel like one day Sam Altman would have his own episode of American Greed. I think so. I think Sam Altman's a little bit out there, if I'm honest. A little bit out there. But yeah, this is kind of interesting to me, and certainly, is demanding a particular step in the right direction. Worth noting as well, by the way, that the dramatic tech sell-off has seen $1 trillion wiped out from the US stock market in recent trading sessions. Investors become increasingly concerned about artificial intelligence. Interesting. And then obviously we got CPI today. I don't know if you guys saw, but CPI was good. Like another good result. Labor market was terrible. Wednesday, I think that came in. So labor market looks absolutely cooked, by the way, which is interesting because it probably does support then a cut from the Federal Reserve when Kevin W gets in there. But yeah, I mean, whatever you've got this market kind of ripping, it's probably not doing much. But yeah, CPI headline numbers came in pretty good. Again, I don't know if you guys saw this today, but 0.2 was actually a decline versus the forecast. So remember, we said this, that CPI might come in better than a lot of people expected, which is kind of interesting. So driven hugely by shelter and food. So yeah, I mean, we're not, I know we used to go through this in quite a bit of detail, but I can't really be bothered, to be honest. But you know, ultimately an actually decent result. CPI comes down. Maybe Trump was right all along. You know, maybe this 4D chess thing. I actually said in my recent video that no one watched that, you know, the fact that Kevin Walsh, Scott Besson are now all pushing for pro crypto move, market structure bill, you know, dumps it down, energy comes down. I mean, you can even see this in you can see it in CPI as well. It's kind of wild. So again, you can see there, look, January negative 0.1 on electricity. That's a decline. Month on month, it's going down. You can see here in the statement, the index for energy decreased 1.5% in January. The gasoline index decreased 3.2% over the month. And again, before seeing the adjustment, the index for electricity declined 0.1% in January. In contrast, natural gas index increased by 1% over the same period. I don't think that's massively. No one's powering any AI data centers by natural gas. Let's just be clear about that. And the index for energy decreased 0.1 over the past 12 months. Like, it's going down. However, you like it or you don't, baby, it's going down. 42 trillion is invested in gold and silver. If crypto has an eighth of that number, we'd have an 8.5 trillion market cap in crypto rotation. Will happen someday. Yeah, I believe it will, Christopher. I've said that a number of times. I don't necessarily see silver going back to an all-time high. I mean, maybe gold does. Kind of don't see silver going up that high. But yeah, anyway, interesting enough. I mean, we can get into a little bit more detail if really people wanted to, but it's probably not worth it. It just gives you a view there. You can see, look, energy from December to January, motor fuel down, gasoline down, electricity overall down. Oh, the other big winners, used cars and trucks down 1.8. I mean, I don't know if that's a big thing. Motor vehicle insurance was down big. Other food at home down 0.3. What's that? Oh, yes, energy as well. So there's some big come downs. And again, that's where it's going to, that's where it'll make people feel better. And make people feel like they've got some more money in their pockets. Especially if you start getting into apparel and stuff like that. So 3.3 down on men's suits, sports clothes and outwear. I mean, that's pretty bullish, isn't it? 2.4 down in men's pants and shorts. Nice. Girls apparel down 0.2. 1.2% down infants and toddlers. I mean, they're all the things that people are going to feel better about. They're going to have more money in their pocket. Motor oil, coolant and fluids down 2.3%. Let's go, baby. Let's go. They're the big things. Like I said, we said this before, didn't we? If people feel like they have a little bit more money, risk assets should actually significantly benefit from it. So anyone who drinks at home, look at that. Wine at home in the US suddenly got a 1% decline. Let's go, baby. What went up 5.1%? Tobacco. Oh, stop smoking and drinking. Said, obviously, I'm joking. You don't know who's listening right now. But yeah, so CPI was all right. I think lots of people were kind of bullish. I mean, CPI on the day actually then saw a significant spike here. So US CPI came in, obviously here. Look, we saw that big spike up there on the price. So yeah, CPI was actually pretty good in the whole. I started trying to do my taxes to get my return, and it's too hard to do the math on my OT hours to file, but there will be a big tax return. Nice. Crypto is fragile right now. That's why you buy, but consider 15% of all crypto is stable coins. So the market cap is actually worse than I thought. Well, I mean, we do take, so for example, if you took Bitcoin, so the total market cap of crypto excluding stable coins and Bitcoin is 671 million. A billion, sorry. So yeah, I mean, what is Bitcoin's market cap right now? 1 billion, maybe? No, it's 1 trillion or something. Does it work? Excuse me, everybody. Excuse me. No, thank you. I don't want to sign in. Get away. What is the price of BTC? 1.3 trillion. So you'd argue, yeah, you're just under 2 trillion, aren't you? $330 billion sat in stable coin. Probably feels about right, actually, in fairness. So Without stablecoins popping up 15% of the crypto, we'd be down to 2 trillion market cap. Yeah, you're probably right. You are probably right. Is it crashing? No. No, we're up today. Like I said, I don't necessarily think we get another big crash. I just think we grind our way down. I just think we grind our way down in my personal opinion. And again, you know, that is only what I feel and think. I might be wrong, all right? Could be wrong. I won't even tell you what I'm doing, which is I'm still in stablecoin. I haven't bought anything. And I still have my long trade open here around $62,000. So that's my opinion, all right? What do you think about going to 80k first and down to 58? Unload some. I mean, I feel like 80k is quite high. If I'm honest, I mean, 80k is here, isn't it? Which, again, would be a decent line of resistance that we have seen before. And again, you can see here that we came down. We then broke below it. But the problem is you've got nothing else here at this line. Now, we can take a look at... We can take a look at this, actually. If we go into spot markets... And we can sit like 80,000, 50 BTC. So again, to get to 80,000, you got 2,248 BTC that we would need to buy, excluding futures markets to get to that price, which feels like quite a lot in fairness, which feels like quite a lot. So, I mean, it's definitely possible. What's the stimulus that drives us to that number? That would be my view. Now, you could argue CPI was pretty good. Yeah, I'll give you that one. We know jobs are a concern. We know the Fed is definitely not likely to cut rates anytime soon. What have we got next week coming in? Nothing really super great. FOMC minutes coming on Wednesday, which could be interesting. I don't think we'll get a lot in there. We get core PCE on Friday. Maybe, given the fact we had CPI come down, maybe we get a decent one. Expected is 0.2. The consensus, however, is 0.4. So if PCE then shits the bed, then, we may get that further push down in the market. So let's say, for example, you get FOMC minutes that are a little bit hawkish, a little bit, we'll wait and see, blah, 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 blah. You could get pushed down 66, 65K. PCE comes in hot, 0.4, 0.5. You could easily be down at 60K without even messing around. I'm personally counting on a relief rally, but managing risk. Yeah, I mean... Look, if we get above 71K, I will be like, okay, maybe we get to 80. But I mean, look at how many times we just didn't get above 71,000. And again, that would be, I mean, this is a relatively quick wick if we get through there as well. So what did the market roll over end of day? Why did the market roll over end of day? I mean, did it? 68,839. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, ETFs have a $500 million outflow day today, which is kind of interesting, isn't it? So the market bought and ETF sold off. It's kind of interesting. Maybe that was it. Maybe you got a bit of a sell off. We can take a look at some wallets actually. Let's see if they did sell off. Some people sell on a Friday before the weekend. Yeah, that's true. Cowan says the bottom is like 25% likely May, 6% likely October, and the remaining percent chances across the summer. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I watched a little bit of Ben. Yeah, I mean, look at that. 6 hours ago, Coinbase, BlackRock sold $20 million worth of BTC. I mean, maybe. I think it depends where you kind of call the bear market from. Many people believe that we're already in a bear market at the start of 2025. Some people even call it at the back end of, October. So... Benko has been pretty much spot on the last few years. He's calling the bottom around 40K and a bear market in stocks by summer. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Vince says, too bit seen treble this week. Big change in structure, but what I call a flawless convert. I haven't seen it for a while, mate, if I'm dead honest. I still have my treble as well, like staked. I don't know if I've learned anything on it, but again, it's the first bear market without a systemic failure. Yeah, exactly. And the first bear market where we just kind of went to a bear market without really even kind of... before we even kind of heard of it. So, yeah. Stu, what's going on from East Lancashire, baby? What's going on, bro? Even if 40K is the bottom, it doesn't mean we won't get a relief rally in the meantime. That's true. What is going to take to ignite this market? We had good economic numbers, had 3 rate cuts in the last 6 months, ETFs, lawsuits dropped, infrastructure buying. I mean, that's true, Robert Dover. The problem you've got, though, is what you've had this time versus any other time is you had a massive rally in commodities and you had a rally in stocks, like outperforming outperforming the crypto market. That's the problem. Token change. Do I need to do anything or not? Tibbo, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, maybe that's what we need. But I mean, this is obviously a big problem. You know, again, just consistent selling out of ETFs. You want to see them buy. You want to see them step back in, really. To be honest, so yeah. We're going backwards. I mean, 68.8 is not going backwards. But again, my view is, by the way, we still come down. But lots of votes and stuff. Feels like lots of political things. Yeah, I haven't touched it, mate. I can't remember the last time I was on the platform. So, GDP is headed to 6% year end. Order supply ISM future reported 57.1. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the ISM isn't all about 1 month though. So they do need to consistently deliver on some ISM. But look, if that starts to go up, then yeah, you could be in for a pretty tasty. When's the next one? March 2nd, ISM PMI. So, you know, if you get a couple of tasty readings, then yeah, you might be in for like a bullish like move up. I mean, hopefully it'd be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, I want to see this kind of, you know, I think if stocks, again, this is the thing as well, but yeah, we've dumped and stocks continue to rip. So this is why I think that if stocks dump, and if you believe that stocks are going to dump as per Ben Cohen and what you've said, then you have to believe that BTC is going to do the same. That's just my opinion. And I think, you know, BTC comes down and it's 40K likely. I mean, we looked at it before. It's very bearish if 40K and would break every cycle bear market we've ever had. But 56.5, your predictions? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's no consensus out right now. No view. Obviously, 52.6 was the last one. So be a big move up to 56.5. Considering sometimes a lot of exchange frees up during black swans and big events that cause crashes. I support everybody that limit buys when they are coming up picking things up. Yeah, I mean, did you see that? Like Coinbase stopped doing some stuff, and MEXC had like another day where they were like turned off deposits and withdrawals. Actually, I think it was for like 2 hours. They said it was for an upgrade, but stocks won't create like I mean, you'll still get a sell off. I mean, if the AI bubble does go pop, like you're going to see some big sell offs. You know, I mean. Think about where like Microsoft is down, right? Is it down like now? 35% or something? Mike Tran says 50K BTC by the end of 2026, very likely. That's the price that people will panic. That's true, which could then push you on a wick to 40K, couldn't it? If you think about it. Maybe. By the way, if you are looking to trade all your favorite cryptocurrencies, do check out the link to Bitunix, guys. It is a great platform to trade on. Lots of brilliant offers. Again, no KYC. It's available all over the world. Obviously, we have, I think, one of the most insane reward bonuses that I don't think anyone can match. I actually watched Lark Davis the other day, his live stream. 20% they get. If you deposit $1,000, you get $500 back. That's a 50% rebate, baby. No one else is giving you that other than this channel. So do check out the link in the description. Also, it's in my pinned... No, it's not. It's in the Discord, which is in my bio. So check out the Discord. Join. It's free. Get involved in there. It is definitely worthwhile. But yeah, that is a pretty insane bonus. So you should get yourselves over there, baby. Get signed up. Worth it, in my opinion. Worth it, broskies. So until February the 18th, you can get signed up on that. I've seen times when crypto goes up and decouples from the stocks somewhat if they do head down. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, look, maybe you don't get like a super crazy sell-off, but maybe you just get a little bit. But I think if stocks do shit the bed, then expect probably some pain. Just my opinion. Again, could be wrong. Pauline launch, bro. Prepare for ship on base moon. Nice, Northern Detectorist. What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Is Brazil buying 1 million BTC or is it bullshit? I feel like I saw something about Brazil, but I don't know what. Hold on a minute. Let's check. Strategic Bitcoin reserve bill allowing Brazil to acquire up to 1 million BTC reintroduced in Congress. So again, a bill proposing the acquisition of up to 1 million BTC has been introduced in the Brazilian Congress, significantly expanding a previous national to strategic Bitcoin reserve. The draft will need to be greenlit, would put Brazil among the countries holding the most Bitcoin. So I guess in theory, yes, they are trying to do it, but are they going to get it? No. Well, no, that's probably not fair, actually. They need to get it passed. The bear market is depressing. Market makers are going to drag it out, so resellers give up hope. That's true, probably. I mean, bear markets are only depressing if you don't have capital. If you've got capital, bear markets are ace. Just buy everything. Like, what's going on, Selmo? You massive legend. What's going on, buddy? Appreciate you, man. Oh, yeah, we're live. We face melting yet? No, RPM. No. But yeah, bear markets, I think, are easier than bull markets because all you have to do is buy top tier coins and you're good. That's it. You're like, hey, this is great. Bull markets, you're like, oh my God, when do I sell? We're going to the moon. It's going to be $400,000. What do you mean it crashed at $126,000? What do you mean? That wasn't the deal. Come on. Yeah, but I mean, Bitcoin, look. The RESIB or Rebate Strategic Sovereign Bitcoin Reserve proposing the acquisition of 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years. I mean, it would be interesting if you got like Brazil, like, holy shit, we're going to buy more Bitcoin. You know, you want Trump to announce they're going to buy some Bitcoin. Maybe, you know, maybe the UK's like, hey, we might buy some Bitcoin. Yeah. Yeah, well, of course we will. Probably bring Angela Rayner back as the next prime minister. That's probably what's going to happen. Oh, Jesus. Terrible. King of Crypto, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Also, I bought the dip last bear market. Never sold at the top and now stuck again. Buying the dip till the bottom again. Miles. I know the feeling, bro. Albeit we took some gains on the way up. Always worthwhile. And I went 50%. 50% is a stable coin at 108 on BTC. So, yeah. Not the top. We were pretty much 2 weeks out on the top. So, weren't far off. Alts really didn't pump. I think it was the only one ticket. Yeah. I mean, I am very much an altcoin holder as opposed to Bitcoin. I mean, I was thinking today, actually. I was like, maybe I buy some Bitcoin rather than buying altcoins. And maybe if Bitcoin does get to 40K, that I might be like, well, I could, you know, buy 0.00001 Bitcoin, you know, add it to my $300 portfolio. Just saying. Green makes money, red makes wealth. That's it. That's it. How's Costa Rica doing? What do you mean? Tim, I haven't been watching the market last few days. Been watching the exciting sport of Olympic curling. I'd love to have got curling. I reckon I'd be pretty good at it. I took nothing, just deploy more before a super cycle. If not, I'll be a Miles. I love that. I love that. Yeah, we took some profits on the way up, which is always good. Always good, actually. Same with Coinbase lately. One can get rich from bull markets, but true massive wealth is created from bear markets. Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, bear markets are easy. Remember, if Solana's $8, you're going to buy it. Now, the debate will be, where will Solana go this bear market? I mean, even at $80, you're like, yeah, we're still cool. I mean, does Solana come back up? And it definitely looks like it's going to push down way more, doesn't it? If you look at that chart, for example, feels like Sol could come down. You know, maybe $60, maybe. You know, this kind of big wick here could be interesting. Could be interesting. I mean, that's 2021 high. So, I mean, that's the other thing to think about, by the way. Alts never got really above their all-time high. Yeah, they pumped from lows. But, and I know some people, we were talking about this on the TikTok live of the week. You know, if you say, well, the low on Solana were $9 to the peak. Well, Solana did a 2,900% gain. You're like, oh my God, that's amazing. If you go from previous all-time high to the new all-time high, it did a 14% gain. So, you know, I think it's a little bit disingenuous sometimes when people are like, oh yeah, well, Solana did 2,500% move. You're like, well, yeah, technically it did. But actually, you know, if you bought anywhere over here, like, you didn't care. You don't care about this. I mean, lots of us bought here. This was kind of the big bit, wasn't it? You know, wick down to 12, buy more Solana, boom. Winner, chicken dinner. These will hit Ondo 21 cents, Canton 12 cents. I could see that. I mean, Ondo I like. like I said, I think if anything, if we get another bite of the cherry, I mean, look at the Ondo, bro. Look at it on the weekly candles. It's about, I mean, Ondo probably can't go much lower than where it is. 20 cents feels like the bottom on Ondo, doesn't it? I mean, that is literally the bottom. Literally the bottom on Ondo. 20 cents. I do not see Ondo going below 20 cents. Just my personal opinion. Thanks for the share, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, if anyone wants to share the stream, please feel free to do so. Let people know we're here. It's great. Great. All's never produced. I agree, Robert. Yeah. Would you short XRP right now? Would I short XRP right now? Would I short XRP right now? Let's take a look. Would I short? I mean, probably not. Maybe if it got to like 146, I'd be tempted to short it off the 20-day EMA. But yeah, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure I would. Nice little W pattern there. Potential breakout here. If it breaks above the 50, the market comes with us. I mean, it did reject here, so interesting. But yeah, I'm not. I just, yeah, I'm not sure about trading a weekend, to be honest. If it holds, yeah. So I mean, I would argue maybe depending. Look, I think it depends what the broader market does, by the way. But I mean, if it revisits 142, that could be a short. If it doesn't break the 50, right now, if it doesn't hold the 382, you could trade the momentum downside that breaks below 382 at 140. But yeah, I never short. I prefer to lose. I hate bears. That's true. At least 150 XRP short. I don't know. We had such a long weekend with President's Day and Chinese New Year. Kind of makes me worry about my trades. What is the market's closed on Monday? Are they? What's your plan for Valentine's Day? 2-bit, mate. I'm actually out tomorrow. We're actually going out, me and my missus. But no, I brought some chocolates and some roses today. Fairground, crushed it, bro. It's actually the only time of the year I generally buy my missus flowers. But yeah, and they were hand delivered by my little boy. So yeah, nailed it. And then we're out for some drinks and some food tomorrow night. So that's gonna be fun. I haven't been on a day night for ages. So I'm excited. And yeah, my missus' mum and dad are here to look after the kids. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Bullish. Was it really? Right, I forgot to know that. King of Crypto says, my first ever biggest mistake in my life is that I bought 20 Bitcoin in 2016. I bought 435 per Bitcoin. The biggest mistake in my life was buying 20 Bitcoin in 2016. I bought 435 per Bitcoin. Thanks, Stu. Explain how that was the worst part of your life. Stocks are green and flat. I see BTC a nice spike up, then back to the zone. Never know next week's market direction down. Maybe, yeah. I mean, could do. Could do. Or someone asked me something. I've forgotten what it was. I was going to look at something then, and I've totally and utterly forgot what we were going to look at. Anyone want to help me out? No, probably not. Don't forget, if you haven't given us a quick thumbs up on YouTube, give us a quick thumbs up, guys. Would appreciate it, as always. I was unsure whether to treat this girlfriend to 6 or 12 roses this Valentine's Day. At the end, I decided to give her the whole 10. Hey, good, Stu. Good time to buy them 2-bit. I mean, Jeremy, I'm not buying. Again, that could be bad news. Could be bad news, but I still feel like this market will give us another bite of the cherry. In my personal opinion, I could be wrong. Of course I could, but you know, as much as the economy is starting to run, I mean, the midterms are going to be a big deal, and Trump's going to run the economy hot, which I think will spook a lot of people that there could be recessionary fears. I still think the Federal Reserve are going to be a bit naff and not cut rates on the next one, which I think will then be a little bit bearish. I could imagine them being slightly hawkish in terms of how they come in. So I think, you know, maybe by end of March, you know, we could be testing the lower end, maybe April. Then your US stock market is closed Monday. Wow. Single life is underrated. King of Crypto, yeah, 32x is a big L, bro. Am I missing something here? Did you say not buying it or buying it? I don't understand. I'm not following you. I'm not following you. Because essentially what you're saying is that you bought 20 Bitcoin up. Look at his comment above. Sorry, am I just having an absolute... Oh, right. Okay, yeah, sorry. Right, I'm with you now. Oh, my God. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Fine. That makes sense. That makes sense. Right. You bought 20 Bitcoin, but sold in 2019 when it was 13,880. Yeah, right. I'm with you now. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, look, I've got the same. I bought Bitcoin 2017 and it was like $2,000. I still have it on my Coinbase account. And yeah, I got scammed on BitConnect. I lost it all on BitConnect. Like, I was like the worst investor as well. I got like credit cards and like, yeah, I think I bought like 10 grand's worth of Bitcoin. Now, I don't think, well, I probably did actually. I probably ended up with about 2 or 3 Bitcoin, but yeah, I lost it all, got scammed on BitConnect. For 10 grand, then went away. I mean, the good news was I had some Ethereum that I bought at like $70 or something crazy like that. So that was kind of nice, but yeah, still. Yeah, Fatsonic, yeah, I read the things. The rates don't affect BTC. We have dropped every cut. Yeah, but the rates will affect the broader economy though. Don't forget, Trump wants to run the economy super hot, super hot. Which in theory will be like, okay, why is he trying to run this economy so hot? AI, you know, whatever it is. Yeah, waiting for some Fed chair to say rate cuts confirmed, then the market will front run it a month in advance, then dump on the day. Rate cut. Yeah, probably. But yeah, the broader economy is kind of going to love it. Yeah, man, I mean, there's loads of coins. I mean, if I think I bought mining contracts when I was, 2017, man, Genesis mining just lost everything. I lost so much money back in 2017. Like it's not even funny, right? It's not even funny. But these are the things that unfortunately, hopefully, make us that a little bit stronger, don't they? They make us ready for it. You reckon they're going to run BTC back to 25k? No, I don't think it goes low. I don't think it goes that low. I would accept a wick at 40, maybe a low of 50. I feel more in the I feel more in the range of 63.5 to 60k. That's my like price fluctuation that I've got. I don't think, 25k is insane. I don't think they run it to 25k. Because if they were going to run it that hard down, I think they would have ran it down on that big dump the other day, which didn't make any sense. So yeah, I don't necessarily think they get it to 25k. That would be such a crazy like low range. So many people would buy before there as well. I mean, that's why I think it'll probably only wick to 40k because so many people step in and buy it. Look what happened when it wicked to, 50, whatever it was. It wicked below like 59,750 and got bought all the way back up to 70k. Like no messing around. So yeah, I think there's a strong level of liquidity there. It doesn't make sense to get so close to the FVGs and not fill them. Well, assuming that it's going to get down there, but yeah. I mean, like I said, I just think there'll be a lot of buy pressure in at that low level. 25k, like, it's just... I mean, what would that be from a price range? When was the last time we went to 25k, just out of curiosity? So you would be back in the world of 2023. Yeah, I mean, feels unlikely, but maybe. 60 to 55k accumulating there till rates are confirmed, maybe, yeah. If we pump the 100% win, China make it. Yeah, well, China's just banned crypto again, don't forget. So China, this is the absolute definition of why we're in a bear market. China once again have banned crypto. They're like, no for crypto. You're not getting involved with it, which is historically a sign of bear markets. It'll be what they do on the back of it and how they come out the other side. Do they pump it? Do they not? Do they get in? Do they not? Like, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. So good. All right. Well, what are we on? We're on 10 o'clock. All right, cool. We've got about 10 minutes left of the stream. If you guys have got anything you want to talk about, any stream theories, questions, opinions, views, what you've heard tonight, do you think the air bubble's a load of nonsense? Also, if you haven't tapped like on TikTok or hit the follow button, then highly recommend doing so. Likewise on YouTube, by the way, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It will be very appreciative. Like I said, I won't be streaming tomorrow night because I'm going out with my missus, but I'll be back Sunday as always. I'm sorry again, I missed last night. I just wasn't in a good place to do a stream last night, so I apologize. I will have some content coming out. I know that it's been pretty bleak from content perspective, but yeah. AI is just starting. Pingu, maybe. I feel like, look, they could run AI hot for another year yet, before everything starts to unwind. Same with commodities, really. If they really want to run the market hot, if Trump gets his stimulus checks out, Kevin Walsh drops rates, the Fed keeps buying in, Maybe. I mean, they're trying to shut the government down again, aren't they, at the minute? Thoughts on Plume versus Ondo? I mean, I thought Plume was like Dunzo, though. I thought we looked at Plume before and it was like pretty Dunzo. Where's it at right now? $55 million market cap. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Ondo looks like on there, but that is not a chart I would be wanting to buy into. Let's take a look and see what Ondo looks like. I mean, Ondo might look as bad, actually. I haven't even really looked at it. The only scarce asset is BTC. I mean, that's true. I mean, Ondo looks as bad, but not quite. At least Ondo looks like it has some life in it, whereas Plume looks like it's already hit the bottom and is just trending at the bottom. I mean, if we get a bounce on Ondo, which hopefully we do, then, then we might get a bit more run. I think the good news with Ondo is what it's bringing to the markets versus maybe what Plume's got. Just my opinion. Hey, thanks for the follow, EK. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. What's going to happen when the AI makes synthetic gold identical to supposedly China can close? Well, I mean, will it ever be gold? That's the thing. What you end up, though, is a self-fulfilling cycle, which is where it all gets pretty scary. I mean, I haven't heard much about this Clodbot thing, but people are telling me like this Clodbot AI is like building itself or something, right? But what you end up then is you get AI to tell you whether the real gold or the fake gold is which one it is. And that's when you start to get in the self-fulfilling world. Is it Clodbot? I can't remember. I feel like I was looking at it somewhere. But yeah, that's why it's worth having Bitcoin. When the total global financial system collapses, then Bitcoin is going to be the one that saves you. We'll all be flexing. And everyone's going to be like, oh, bro, have you got some Satoshis? You'll be like, no, we trade bottle caps around here, not Satoshis. Imagine. It's like, what? I can't remember what that game is now. What's it called? Fallout. Is it Fallout? Man, I love that game. Heard an AI agent sued a human. Really? Bro. Yeah, this AI thing is building itself. What AI is it? Let's find it. What AI is currently building itself? According to the music stream platform Spotify, no, that's all. I thought there was a specific one. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm getting confused. Pump or dump, what's your thoughts tonight? I mean, for tonight, the market's holding up all right. So going into the weekend, there's no reason to dump the market. So I don't necessarily think a dump. Maybe a sell-off, maybe. We could sell off and come back down to like 68.5. I mean, that's a possibility, isn't it? What are we at now? 68.8. Wouldn't surprise me if we don't come down and retest 68.5. Is it possible BTC has a purpose and nobody still knows what it is? Speculation, but nobody knows why BTC was invented. I mean, you could argue and say maybe, but I think everyone knows why BTC was invented, wasn't it? It was basically to get away from bank. I mean, just understand fractionalized banking. That's why the banks are so freaked out about this stablecoin thing. Like, you are essentially going to take away the control the banks have. Like, when you look at it, it's insane. Like, the banking system is absolutely insane. And if you really looked at it and you didn't talk about it in a banking sentiment, you would literally be in a world of going, why would anyone ever invest in that? Think about it, right? Think about it. Take a mortgage, for example, right? And a lot of us have them, and we can't see what you're doing. I'm just talking. There's not really a lot. There's a chart. There's a Bitcoin chart on the screen. That's about it. Nothing else particularly. But think about mortgages, right? So I want to go and get a mortgage with the bank. For the bank to give me that mortgage, they basically then lend me other people's money. And then they charge me to borrow that money at an extortionate rate that I pay back. But that money doesn't even exist. Like, think about it. It's crazy. It's insane. The banks are insane. Hence why I have like a traditional bank account that my missus runs. That is it. I don't have any savings. I don't have any like ISAs, nah, I'm not about it. I'm not about it. I'm out of the banking sector. It's a scam. All right, that's my opinion. Banks have had a monopoly forever. Yeah, of course they have. You know, that's why you get government bailouts. Like, the banks are genuinely a way of controlling people. Now, I don't want to get all like, you know, leftist lunatic weirdo on stuff, but, you know, yeah, same as me, Fat Sonic. I got a pension and then crypto. But, yeah, XRP, yeah, bullish on XRP. But you just understand the banking sector is just a scam. My mum and dad, as an example, right? They're hardworking, worked all their life. You know, they're from Yorkshire, so obviously they're hardworking people. They've worked all their lives. My dad is convinced the bank is his friend, and he will not listen to me, right? He will not listen to me, whatever I tell him to do. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, the bank, I've got all my money's tied up in the bank. And I'm like, yeah, the bank are making money off your money, Dad. That's exactly what they're doing. He's like, yeah, but let me tell you, they're giving me 2% interest on that money. Brilliant. They're probably making 20%. How much are you paying on your mortgage, Dad? Well, about 3%. Well, there you go. Then you're negative 1%. Just saying. Average UK mortgage rate. What do you reckon it is? $4 to 5%, right? So even just in a mortgage rate, let's see, average UK interest rate on savings. 2.15%. See, it's a scam. It's a scam. So they charge double. Think about it. They take your money that they're giving you 2% return on, and they charge someone 4%. Like, it's the biggest con on the planet. Do you ever, I bet Fairground's seen this. There's a guy called, oh man, he did something called Dave's Bank. Do you remember? Bank of Dave. It was like a 2003 official name, Burnley Savings and Loans. That was it. Dave Fishwick, a self-made millionaire from Burnley, basically created in 2011 to lend to local people and small businesses struggling to get loans from major banks following the 2008 financial crisis. I bet Fairground knows who he is. Dave Fishwick. Yeah, there you go. It was a community-focused, help honest working people. And they tried to do everything they could to not let it happen. And he was just not charging ridiculous rates. So he was like, okay, I'll pay like 3% interest out, and I'll charge 3.5% on mortgage payments. Like, it was so people getting mortgages got lower mortgages, people got interest, got higher interest. The bank just took less money. Think about it. Let's take a look at NatWest. NatWest declared profits for 2025. What was it? What did NatWest do? £7.7 billion. £7.7 billion. What? What's the other one? Santander. 14.1 billion pounds in profits. Fuck off, banks. That's my opinion. Jesus. And they still screw your mortgages, and they still screw people on credit cards. Like, it's insane. It's insane. If you ever need to tell anyone a reason why they should look at investing in cryptocurrency, it's because the banks are a scam. No wonder they're making profits of people's money. It's literally exactly that. And if you want to get really deep into how corrupt the banking system is, go and understand fractionalized banking and how it is literally a complete and utter scam. Like, there's no other two ways about it. No one will tell me different. Think about it. Fractionalized banking. Well, we say we have, this is the last point, by the way, and we're going to get going. Global. In fact, let's do total money in the UK, right? Let's do the UK, it's easier. So there are over 4.7 billion banknotes in circulation worth approximately 86 billion pounds, right? So hard cash, 86 billion pounds, right? 86 billion pounds is what they're saying. So if you went to the bank now and said, I want my money, 86 billion is available on notes backed by hard cash, yeah? the total money in the entire economy is $13 trillion. 13 trillion pounds. Work that out. Work it out. Someone make it make sense. Someone make it make sense. 86 billion in pound notes, 13 trillion pounds in digital bank deposits. Okay, cool. That totally makes sense, doesn't it? Totally makes sense. Oh, Jesus. It hurts my head. It hurts my head. And then you go, so why would people not invest in Bitcoin? Because there's only 21 million Bitcoin. There'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if anyone says Bitcoin's a scam. There'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Anyway, that's why at some point the financial markets will collapse and everybody will eventually head into Bitcoin. And people say that's not going to happen to it. Imagine every single person on the planet decided they were going to go and withdraw their money out of the banks. The total and utter devastation of the traditional finance system that we know about would happen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why people, when you go to the bank and you ask to deposit money, they go, what do you want it for? What do you want it for? What the fuck's it got to do with you? It's my money. Well, we're just saying, don't come in here asking for £10,000 because you're not having it. Banks only have to hold 3% of the money that take in and can lend the rest out. Yeah, it's insane. I think they tried to change that, right? I'm sure they tried to change that to like 1% or something. Like, anyway, on that little rant at the end of the show, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's live stream. Fairground, honestly, like, look, you know, there are certain things designed in this world that if you really stopped and thought about, by the way, and I am a conspiracy theorist, I like conspiracies, but if you really thought about it, you're like, bro, we are just getting totally screwed here. Think about it. You get a mortgage for 30 years, 35 years, and you pay back interest. Oh, and by the way, every 5 years, we want you to refinance that mortgage. Well, what happens through inflation rates? You know, oh, you got stuck on a 5 year at 5%? Like, oh dear, like 30 years is a long time, isn't it? Go and read some Robert Kiyosaki books. Are they good, yeah? I mean, I just got it out of the entire financial markets. I just think it's a scam. Total scam. It was 7 and now it's 3. Yeah, I thought there's something happened. That's crazy, isn't it? Maybe the first line for withdrawals, 100%. I'll ask the cashier for my £1 trillion in cash. They have a face like a spider. Yeah, going to the bank. I'd like to withdraw £100 billion, please. They'll be like, have you smoked something? Anyway, right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. As always, we appreciate you taking the time out to just come and hang out with me. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button or the follow button there on TikTok, do make sure you do that. Also, turn that notification bell to all. That way you're notified on our latest content, our live streams, our posts and community posts, everything that you need to do. 2 things I'll leave you with. 1, jump into the Discord. It's totally free. Link is in the description or in my bio there on TikTok as well. Like I said, it's totally free. Please make sure when you do join the Discord, you do verify yourself. It's really simple. Follow the instructions on the welcome here chat. And again, it walks you through exactly what you need to do. If you don't verify within 24 hours, you simply get yeeted out of the Discord and it's not worth it. If you want a little bit more access, by the way, we do have a premium Discord where it's got our trade bots in, token sniffer bots, DeFi bots, as well as trade alerts and obviously our 4 guides on how to trade this market. Again, you get that for about $6.50 a month by becoming a member there on YouTube or by subscribing to a membership here on TikTok as well. You get that premium access. It's totally worth it, by the way. It's cheapest in the market. As always, right, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I'll be back on Sunday night, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK. Do not miss it. Look out for content going live tomorrow, slightly later, actually. We're trying something a bit different, so look out for that. But until then, have a great weekend. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and I'll see you guys back here on Sunday night. Take care.